Welcome to Badminton Weekly with me, Jasmine Lim. We begin with men's doubles, and Hendra Setiawan and Muhammad Ahsan have dropped strong hints of retirement after the second round loss at the Kapal Api Indonesia Open 2024. Setiawan indicated that the Super 1000 event could be their last appearance in Jakarta, and it's time for the younger generation to take over. Despite the recent retirement of the minions, and now potentially the daddies, Hans-Christian Solberg Vittinghus believes the future remains bright for Indonesia badminton.
Of course, it's almost impossible to replace such big characters, not only in terms of the results, but also the personalities. And they've been great characters, not only for Indonesian badminton, but for the world of badminton. So that's going to be like a really big gap to fill. In terms of the actual results on court and the titles to win and stuff like that, it's already been a couple of years now where Indonesian badminton has tried to replace them. The minions has not really performed at the highest level since 2022, and for Ahsan and Setiawan, they've been more like the third or fourth couple from Indonesia for a few years. So it's been like this for a while, that Indonesia is really trying to find their footing in the men's doubles category compared to how dominant they've been in the past. And I don't think it's going to change much, but just because the players are now officially retiring, it's still going to be a struggle for Indonesia to try and get back to the same sort of dominance. And I won't rule it out. I think it's possible because Indonesia has such a rich tradition in men's doubles. They have the know-how in terms of coaches. They have the number of players, and all the players in Indonesia, at least a lot of them, would like to perform well in men's doubles because of the tradition. So I won't rule it out, but I don't see it happening in the next 2, 3, 4 years time. It will take some new pairings coming up, some new players perhaps, for it to be a possibility. Alfian and Arianto, I know they're not at the same level as Gideon and Sukamuljo, but they've still won All England twice. So you can't rule them out for winning any of the big titles, including the Olympics in a couple of months. But the same level of dominance, I don't see it happening just in the near future, but with a country like Indonesia, with their tradition and know-how, I'm not going to rule it out, for sure not. To be honest, unfortunately, I wouldn't really mention any other pair. If you want a pair that you can really trust in the biggest events, I know that Fiki and Maulana, they also won the All England once. They have failed to reproduce that kind of form in the big tournaments. We also have Martin and Canando. And they show from time to time that they can trouble the best pairs. But when all the best pairs are there at their top form, at their peak, at the biggest events, right now, for me, it looks like Alfian and Arianto are the only ones that you can really trust to be there and fight for the titles. That also means that I would not be too surprised if we see some kind of mix-up in the pairings after the Paris Olympics. So I think it's going to be really interesting to see how they move forward as a group in the Indonesian men's doubles group, because I'm 100% certain they are not happy with the current state of the group, even though they still have 3 pairs in top 15 in the world.
With an Olympic gold medal, 2 Asian Games gold, and 4 World Championship titles to his name, Hendra Setiawan will be sorely missed when he does call time on his glittering career. But before that, we celebrate his 24th successive appearance at the Indonesia Open by going around Istora Senayan to find out about the legacy the 39-year-old has created.
I think words like legend and genius are thrown around way too much in sport, but in Hendra Setiawan's case, they're both completely appropriate. I mean, he's been a role model to thousands of young Indonesian boys and girls, actually. And it's not just for his record on badminton court. You won't find anyone who's got a bad word to say about him as a human being, and that's probably more important. But you look at some of his achievements. I mean, he won 4 world titles, one with the late Marcus Kido and 3 with Ahsan, 12 years apart. That's got to be some kind of record. He won his last world title on his 35th birthday, the oldest man to win a world title. And the Olympics, he won in August in Beijing on Indonesia Independence Day. There couldn't be a more appropriate date for him to win that title. And he was just a lovely guy. He's going to be 40 in August. You know, good thing can't go on forever. But he's just been a magnificent sportsman. and an absolute credit to his country. He's just a genius.
昨天不有个消息，我看好多人跟我说亨德拉参加这个比赛的时候，我们俩还没出生呢。对，亨德拉拿世界冠军是我王上才1岁，我2岁，所以说就昨天他其实算是比较有纪念意义的事情吧。
我觉得是也是在促进我们年轻人吧，还有就是他们是在羽坛的一个榜样，也是在我们羽坛在目前这个羽坛里我们新生代必须要战胜的对手。就是也是算是一个里程碑，就是现在世界高水平运动员，随着他们的年龄的上涨，后面的年轻人就一定要想办法战胜他们，不然的话，我觉得他们对他们的榜样作用，可能就是要促进我们小运动员去超越他们。
He have a good influence for the other players, for the other badminton athlete in the world. Dan itu terbukti he get a respect, very good respect from the other athlete. You can see when after the match, the opponents will meet him and will hug him like Hendra is a father figure for the other. So Hendra itu ya punya good influence untuk atlet-atlet yang lain dan jadi contoh panutan baik di dalam maupun di luar lapangan.
Ya dia benar-benar sangat down to earth orangnya. Jadi dia kan besar banget ya namanya di Indonesia sendiri. Tapi kalau misalnya lihat dia as a person gitu tuh benar-benar baik dan sehumble itu, dan dia gak pernah mikir kalau kita ini staff dan dia ngelihat kita tuh ke bawah gitu tuh enggak gitu. Jadi benar-benar dia melihat semua orang tuh sama rata, dan ya dia benar-benar baik banget, dan nggak salah sih dia diidolakan sama banyak pemain sih.
It has been a fantastic 6 months for Shi Yu Qi. The Chinese shuttler won 3 750 titles, and his recent victory in Jakarta has propelled him to a career-first world #1 ranking. Hans Christian Solberg Vittinghus breaks down why Yu Qi is in the form of his life.
If you look at his results since December last year, he played 8 tournaments, he made the final in 6 of them, and he won 4 titles, including Indonesia Open this week. So I think it's very well deserved. He's over 100,000 points. So I think the only reason why it hasn't happened before is because Victor Axelsen has had such an amazing run in 2023. But I think when he beat Victor at the World Tour finals, and I know it was only a group stage match, but I think that win actually gave him the confidence he needed to build on, to win the big matches, and really trust that he could win the big matches. I know he lost the final of that World Tour finals to Victor, but he beat him again already in the next event in Malaysia Open in January, where he then went on to lose the final. But those couple of wins against Victor, who at that time for sure still was the clear #1, I think that's what really gave him the confidence. And you saw already the week after Malaysia, he won India Open. He finally got over that hurdle of not winning the finals, and as soon as he got that, it was kind of like there was this burden taking off his shoulders, and he's playing with much more confidence and the trust he has in his own game. And I think you see a good example of it in Singapore last week, where he was down match points against Naraoka. He was down 19-16 in the third against Li Shifeng as well, and he still manages to keep his calm and believe in himself, and then come back and win those matches. So I think that's really the key for him in terms of why he managed to change the fortunes in those finals. I would say, first of all, his net game at the moment is unbelievable. So I would say I think he's probably the best in the world on the front part of the court. There's so many times where his spins are so tight, but he's also very good at closing down the opportunities, so actually going for the kill at the net. And he plays at a very high pace from the front of the court. So he's really stressing his opponent around on the front of the court, and that sets up a lot of good attacking opportunities. And another area where I feel like he's the best in the world is his attack from his round the head side or backhand side. When he goes cross court with that smash that I'm sure you've all seen so many times, it's just almost impossible to defend when he chooses to go cross court. So if you combine those two traits, that he's probably the best at the net at the moment, and he also has that lethal attack, especially from his round head side, he's really hard to play again when he is in control of the matches. Right now I feel like he's on kind of a roll, so for me, he's the favorite to win the Olympics right now. Had you asked me that some months ago, it would have probably still been Victor, but with the results and the way he's playing, and it just looks like he keeps on adding layers to his level right now. His consistency is there, which is also one of the issues opponents have when they face him, that he's just so consistent, he's so hard to beat. So for me, he is the favorite going into Paris.
Last year, Seo Seung Jae became the first man since 1999 to win the World Championship in 2 doubles discipline. To top it all off, the Korean finished the season with a men's doubles title at the World Tour Finals. While he has yet to win a title since his India Open triumph this year, the 26-year-old believes his preparations for the Olympics are on the right track.
And they've done it. The number 5 seeds, Seo Seung Jae and Shi Yu Qi, have dethroned the champions. And fitting that it was Seo Seung Jae, her first male player to win the 2 doubles disciplines after 24 years.
Buoyed by the incredible achievement, Seo Seung Jae is looking to channel the same winning mentality when he heads over to Paris. The Korean star is set to make his second Olympic appearance in July and is optimistic that the tournament format will work in his favor.
올림픽 같은 경우에는 다른 오픈 대회랑 좀 다르게 어쨌든 기간이 좀 더 길고, 그리고 제가 타이트하지 않다고 생각을 해서 경기를 하는 부분들이, 그래서 제가 체력적인 부분은 조금 더 좋을 거라고 생각을 해서 제가 느끼기에는 조금 더 좋은 경기를 할 수 있을 거라고 생각합니다. 우선은 체력적인 부분이 제일 크다고 생각을 하고, 이제 점점 오픈대회 같은 경우에 점점 토너먼트를 올라갈수록 더 경쟁력 있는 선수들이랑 붙게 되는데, 제가 만약 2개 다 올라갔을 때 이제 체력적으로 좀 힘든 부분이 사실 많았던 적도 많았기 때문에 기술적인 부분보다는 이제 정신력과 체력적인 부분에서 졌을 때 조금 더 타격이 더 크다고 생각을 해서 준비를 더 잘해야 된다고 생각합니다.
One of his regrets at the 2020 Olympics was not being able to prepare well for the competition with then partners Chae Yoo-jung and Choi Sol-gyu. However, that experience has given him valuable insights, and he is happy to share it with first-time Olympian Kan Min-hyuk.
우선은 솔규 형이랑 했을 때 저희가 이제 처음 올림픽에 나가다 보니까 조금 더 긴장된 부분도 있었고, 저희가 좀 준비를 잘 하지 못하고 경기를 저희 플레이를 못했다고 생각을 해서 이번 올림픽에서 민혁이랑 같이 나가게 됐는데, 거기 더 철저하게 준비를 해서 한번 경험을 한 거를 토대로 더 좋은 경기를 할 수 있도록 준비를 해야 될 것 같아요. 그냥 제가 이제 최대한 느꼈던 부분들을 많이 공유하면서 얘기를 하고 있고, 또 올림픽이란 경우 대회라는 게 직접 이제 뛰어봐야 이제 그 느낌을 알 수 있기 때문에, 그래도 그거에 유사하게끔 최대한 제가 경험을 얘기해주고 같이 데뷔를 하고 있는 것 같아요.
Having won 2 gold medals at the World Championships, Seo believes he can handle the expectations of winning an Olympic medal for Korea and is confident that his preparations will bring success in Paris.
기대감이 없는 거는 아닌 것 같고, 기대하는 게 저는 그래도 당연할 거라고 생각을 하고, 저희가 대표팀 국가대표 이제 태극마크를 달고 뛰는 만큼 저도 최선을 다하려고 항상 노력을 하고, 결과가 사실 어떻게 나올지는 잘 모르겠지만 그냥 그런 부분에서 저희가 조금 더 준비를 잘하고 저의 경기를 보여준다고 하면은 충분히 좋은 성적을 낼 수 있을 거라고 생각합니다. 우선은 선수라고 하면은 올림픽에서 올라갈 수 최종 무대라고 생각을 하고, 거기서 이제 또 수상을 이제 할 수 있다고 하면은 너무 뜻깊을 것 같고, 제가 이제 운동 생활을 하면서 그럴 기회가 사실 흔치 않다고 생각을 하는데, 그거를 꼭 이룰 수 있다고 하면은 너무 좋을 것 같아요.
And with that, we've reached the end of today's show. The HSBC BWF World Tour is in Sydney for the Australia Open this week, and we'll bring you the biggest stories from the Super 500 event next week. So remember to join us then. In the meantime, don't forget you can always get the latest news updates from the new look BWF app, Badminton for You. And let us know your thoughts, comments, and questions on our Facebook and YouTube pages. Until then, see you!